Good day, Philippines. You're watching Frontline Report, where we bring you in-depth story that matter most at our communities. Today, we are taking a closer, deeper, and more comprehensive look at one of the biggest challenging faces rural areas across the nation, cattle rustling. For decades, the illegal taking, transporting, and killing of large cattle has affected thousands of Filipino farmers. Their cows, horses, and carabaos are more than animals. They are livelihood, wealth, and daily survival. To combat this, the government established the Anti-Cattle Rustling Law or Ferdinand Decree 533 enacted by President Ferdinand E. Marcos on August 8, 1974. This decree was established during a time when cattle rustling had become rampant, endangering not only the livestock industry but also the stability and security of farming communities. We have a full team of reporters deployed across different locations to explain each section of the law, from definitions, registration rules, permit requirements, transportation guidelines, legal presumptions, penalties, and its importance today. Let's go first to our field reporter on the ground, Reporter Zambrana. What's the situation where you are?
Thank you. I'm here in Barangay Mabini, where cattle raising is the main livelihood. Farmers here say they rely heavily on PD 533 to protect their animals. The law defines cattle rustling as the taking, killing, or stealing of large cattle such as cows, carabaos, and horses, whether done with or without violence. I'm here with a cattle raiser who personally experienced the effects of cattle rustling. So, Mr. Reyes, in what ways does Presidential Decree number 533 Anti-Cattle Rustling Law help protect people, especially farmers, livestock owners, and rural communities?
Presidential Decree number 533 helps protect by people reducing livestock theft with a major threat to farmers' livelihood. The law imposes strict penalties on cattle rustling, discouraging criminals from stealing animals such as cows, carabaos, goats, and horses. This protects the incomes and resources of farmers, promotes peace and safety in rural areas, and support agricultural productivity. PD 533 also encourages proper documentation and identification of livestock, making it easier for authorities to trace stolen animals and catch offenders. Overall, the decree strengthens community security and safeguards the economic stability of rural families.
Thank you, Ms. Zambrana. Now, let's move to Mr. Salazar at the Municipal Treasurer Office to explain how the registration process works.
Good afternoon. I'm inside the registration office where cattle owners come to register their animals. Under PD 533, the owners must register their cattle before they reach 6 months old. This registration gives them a certificate of ownership, which serves as their legal proof. This is important, especially during transport or sale, to prevent illegal trading and ensure that each animal can be identified and traced, especially during transport or sale. This is the Municipal Treasurer, Ms. Janice Pitilo. Why is it important to register the cattle rustling?
Processing the registration of large cattle is important because it serves as a legal proof of ownership and helps protect farmers from theft or disputes. By officially recording each animal's, authorities can easily track and verify cattle during inspection or transport, making it difficult for stolen livestock to be sold or moved. Registration also helps maintain order in the livestock industry by ensuring accurate records and supporting law enforcement and preventing cattle rustling. Overall, it safeguards both the farmer livelihood and the security of the cattle industry.
Thank you, Ms. Pitilo. So the treasurer also emphasized that falsifying documents is a punishable act under this law.
Thank you, Mr. Salazar. Next, Ms. Pitilo, explain what is the duties of public officials.
All public officials involved in cattle registration must strictly follow the procedure stated in the revised administrative code. This ensures that records are accurate, registration is honest, certificates are authentic, no shortcuts or illegal processing occurs. Local officials say that strict adherence reduces corruption and prevents fake ownership documents, which theft often rely on.
Thank you, Ms. Pitilo. Registration is clearly one of the most important safeguards under PD 533. Now, let's move to a key part of the decree permits for buying and selling cattle. Mr. Romo is on the field.
Under Presidential Decree number 533, no person, partnership, or corporation may engage in the buying and selling of large cattle without first securing a permit from the provincial commander of the area where the business will operate and the city or municipal treasurer of the buyer residence. This permit is valid only within the province. Obtaining a permit from the both of provincial commander and the municipal treasurer is required to secure the cattle transaction are both secure and legally compliant. The provincial commander approval service a security function verifying that the cattle are not stolen and that their movement does not pose a threat to the public safety. Meanwhile, the municipal treasurer permit ensure that the transaction adheres to local government regulation, including payment of applicable tax or fees and proper registration of the cattle. Together, this permit helps prevent cattle rustling, illegal trading, and tax evasion, providing both law enforcement oversight and administrative accountability in the management of livestock.
Now, we turn to Mr. Reyes, who is with police authorities handling cattle shipment.
I'm here along a checkpoint where cattle transporter must present shipment clearances. It is said that anyone who transport or ship large cattle, including their meats or hides, must have the proper documents to prove legal ownership and prevent the movement of stolen animals. This is Police Master Sergeant Salazar to explain the requirements of cattle shipment.
So under PD 553, transporting cattle requires several documentation. This include the certificate of ownership. So this proves the animals belong to the person shipping. And the next is veterinary certificate. So this states that the cattle are free from communicable or contagious diseases. And lastly, the clearance from the provincial commander for cross-province transfer. So to transport cattle within the same province, only a permit from the city or municipal treasurer is required.
Thank you, Sir Salazar. That's all for cattle shipment anchor.
Thank you, Mr. Reyes. Now, for the important part of the decree is the presumption of cattle rustling. For that, Ms. Pitilo returns with the details.
Thank you. Presumption of cattle rustling is a legal principle that whoever possesses large cattle must show the required documents when asked by the authorities. Failure to present these documents become prima facie evidence, meaning there is a probable suspicion that the cattle were stolen. The purpose is to deter theft and illegal trading of livestock.
Thank you, Ms. Pitilo. Now, let's move to Mr. Salazar, who spoke with a legal expert to explain the penalties and punishment under PD 533.
I'm with Attorney Zambrana, a criminal law expert who has handled several cattle rustling cases.
Presidential Decree 533 imposes strict penalties because cattle rustling affects livelihood and national food production. The penalties that impose anti-cattle rustling are without violence or intimidation, will have a penalties of prison minor, maximum to reclusion temporal, medium which the duration is 10 years and 1 day to 17 years, and 4 months imprisonment. With violation or intimidation will have the penalty of reclusion temporal maximum to reclusion perpetua, which is 17 years, 4 months, and 1 day to 40 years imprisonment. If someone is injured or killed, life imprisonment or reclusion perpetua, 20 years and 1 day to 40 years. If the offender is a public official, automatic disqualification from office and future employment. If the offender is a foreigner, deportation after serving the sentence. The law's purpose is protection. It ensures that stealing a farmer's livelihood is treated with maximum seriousness.
Miss Attorney, how does this law help the farmers?
It gives them legal protection, discourages thefts, and provides clear systems for ownership and transport. It also strengthens trust in local enforcement.
Thank you to our reporters for breaking down the key section of the anti-cattle rustling law. A cattle rustling incident happened at Palayan City, Nueva Ecija, to be reported by Mr. Romo.
In the early hours of November 25, 2025, local authorities arrested individuals who allegedly to steal a large cow from private farm in Barangay. According to investigator, at around 4:38 p.m., the barangay chairman reported an allegedly cattle theft. Police responded swiftly and found the suspect in possession of a cow. With question, the suspect were unable to present any document or proof of lawful ownership for the animals.
Thank you, Mr. Romo. Under this case, according to Article 3 of the Anti-Cattle Rustling Law, PD 533, possession of large cattle without a valid documentation, certificate of ownership, and registration triggers a prima facie presumption of guilt for cattle rustling because the suspect could not present any lawful title of registration for the cow. The law empowers authorities to treat the situation as presumptive rustling. This case underscores the critical role of proper registration and documentation under PD 533. Without valid papers, mere possession of large cattle is enough to presume criminal liability. The requirement serves as a deterrent to theft and helps law enforcement act swiftly even when direct evidence of theft is hard to secure. Practical necessity in rural areas where livestock theft often goes unnoticed until after the fact. Include the anti-cattle rustling law stands as a vital safeguard for farmers, livestock owners, and local communities whose livelihood depend on the cattle industry. By establishing strict penalties, clear documentation requirements, and accountability among public officials, the law aims to deter criminal activities and protect one of the nation's essential agricultural resources. Understanding and enforcing this decree is not only a legal responsibility but a shared commitment to promoting security, fairness, and sustainable development in rural areas. Let us work together to strengthen the fight against cattle rustling. Stay informed, report suspicious activity, support local enforcement. Every citizen, farmer, and community leader plays a crucial role in safeguarding our livestock and preserving the stability of our agricultural economy. By upholding the anti-cattle rustling law, we protect livelihoods and secure a safer, more prosperous and future for all.